Welcome to a new episode of Cooking with the Dude. It's cold outside, so today I'll be making a soup, but not just any kind of soup. I'll be making a Truffle Lasagna Soup. Let's get into it. Here's everything you're gonna need for your ingredients. Okay, once we have all our ingredients together, we're gonna start off with the onion. Now the only thing we pretty much have to do with the onion is chop it up. We're gonna chop it up into fine, small pieces. And then we're gonna cook it down until it becomes translucent. Now when I say translucent, it basically means the onion kind of cooks down to where it's very soft. And in the word of translucent, you can almost see through it a little bit better. So that's gonna be a few minutes of cooking down, but not at a very high temperature. You don't wanna cook it too hot, all right? Once you cook your onion down a little bit, you want to go ahead and add your garlic to the pot. Now the key to adding your garlic to the pot after you add the onions in is because you don't want your garlic to burn. The last thing you want to do is burn your garlic. So when you cook your garlic on top of the onion and cook it together, what it does is it begins to bind together. And what binding means, it kind of creates a harmony. So the harmony between the onions and the garlic will make the aroma in the house just, it'll make it great. So whoever walks in the house will be like, hey, what you cooking? That'll get that going, all right? So once you have that going and your onions are translucent, then you're gonna go ahead and add your ground beef into the pot. Now you want to cook your ground beef down until it browns. Now that won't take long, but you want to make sure that you stay active in your pot, meaning that you want to make sure you're constantly stirring the meat so all of the meat cooks down to where they're pretty much at a brown color. Now once we get a light brown, we want to add our seasonings. Here's our seasoning options. So we have black pepper, we have garlic powder, we have Himalayan pink salt, we have red pepper flakes, we have oregano, we have parsley flakes, and we have rosemary, fresh rosemary. This is gonna add a lot of flavor to your recipe, all right? After you add your seasonings to the pot, then you wanna go ahead and throw in your fire roasted crushed tomatoes. Now the fire roasted crushed tomatoes is a staple in a lot of my recipes because I truly enjoy the amount of flavor that it brings out whenever I use it. So I enjoy that, all right? Now once you have that going on the pot, we wanna make sure we add some liquid to the pot. So we're gonna go ahead and throw in the chicken stock. Now if this is a soup, we have to have some type of liquid. So we're gonna go with chicken stock because it adds a lot of flavor along with everything else that we have into the pot so far. Now I did say that we were making lasagna soup, and we can't have lasagna without pasta. So these are the strips that you're gonna need. We only need 7. So we're not gonna use a whole lot of them, but we're gonna use just enough to make sure we have enough pasta to make it fulfilling. Now what we're doing here is we're breaking down our pasta strips. So we wanna make sure we break them into equal parts so we can make sure that when we add it into the soup that it cooks down and it has a nice look to it. Just like that. And next we have just a little bit of sugar. What it's gonna do is not gonna make it sweet, it's just gonna cut the tartness from the tomatoes. Next we have the cornstarch. Now what you're gonna do with your cornstarch is we're gonna have 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, but we're gonna also add a tablespoon of water, just to thin it out a little bit. But what this does is thickens the soup just a little bit to give it a little more texture. So next, we can't forget about the cheese. Okay, so we're gonna add the Parmesan cheese into the pot. All right, and we're gonna also add some shredded mozzarella because like I said before, if we're gonna have lasagna, you can't have lasagna without the cheese. And last but not least, we have the thrills. Now, thrills is a sauce that can be added to many dishes. This thrill contains summer truffles, various mushrooms, heavy cream, butter, olive oil, garlic, cheese like Parmesan. Yeah, you know I like cheese. And you have a thrill that's real. Yeah, I like it. Now that we have everything we need to make this recipe, I think it's time to get started. Let's cook.
Minutes later.
All right, add a little parsley on the top there. Make it look nice and pretty. All right, now it's time for the taste test. It's good.